Hello, this is EJ LeBlanc. We're doing the 22 push-up challenge. We're remembering veterans that have committed suicide, and we're talking about negative forces that are impacting our culture and harming both ourselves and people around us, and how do we combat those forces, and most of all, how do we stay resilient? How do we handle the suffering that life is inevitably going to inflict upon us? And so what I'd like to do is do something a little bit different. We've talked before, actually I think on the first day, about the 40 days to a joy-filled life, and to specifically how it's based off of the 4-8 principle. And for those of you who aren't familiar, Philippians 4:8 says, whatever is noble, whatever is pure, whatever is excellent, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. And so what this particular passage today is talking about, which we're going to read the whole day, specifically deals with our thoughts. So without further ado, because I can ramble, let's just jump in. This is day 33 of 40 days to a joy-filled life. What's your goal? The joy of being His greatest creation. As I mentioned way back in day 5, humans think in one of two primary ways. The most common is in reaction to the world around us, similar to how an animal in the woods reacts to a noise or a threat. Often we simply respond to whatever someone else does or to an experience we have. We react with a particular thought that, if it persists, generates an emotion, followed by an action consistent with that feeling. We move from thought to emotion to action. We move from thought to emotion to action. If we interpret the situation negatively, the resulting emotion is likely to be self-defeating. The behavior that follows will probably move us away from what we really want, even though it may feel right and defensible at the moment. These emotional reflexes quickly become habits of mind. The way we could trigger thoughts is intentionally or proactively. We can create a to-think list like the one Paul provides in Philippians 4:8, or we could simply borrow his. We could decide that lovely, gracious, pure, excellent thoughts are constructive and the kind we want to think on a regular basis. Deliberately choosing 4-8 thoughts produces the emotional life we want. They will stimulate good moods, and these moods will spur action consistent with the goals and ideals most important to us. You can create a virtuous cycle like this by getting really clear on your personal vision and aligning your behavior with that vision, thereby producing the emotional blessings you desire. Your vision is the mental picture you hold of your future. If that image is definite, compelling, and detailed, it exerts a powerful influence on your current decisions, pulling you in the direction of your dreams. The alternative is to surrender your emotional life to the events of the day and live in constant suspense, acting consistently with your ideals only when you feel like it. Understand that your emotional strength is directly linked to your moral decisions. The choices you make that violate biblical truth invite emotional discord, even though they may initially produce counterfeit joy. This emotional debt must always be paid back with interest. But when you behave in ways that are pleasing to God, you will be rewarded with the emotional fruit that your soul truly desires. When you live purposefully, think rightly, serve generously, and forgive quickly, you are laying the groundwork for emotional victory. I have found it very empowering to remind myself repeatedly that negative emotions are not God's will for my life. Throughout this book, I've offered ample strategies for dealing with negative emotions so that you can move closer to a joy-filled life. As your coach, my goal is to help you reach this goal, but first we have to come to grips with this fundamental question. If it comes down to choosing between experiencing joy or experiencing the negative emotion you believe you deserve, what's it going to be? In other words, as I've said before, deal or no deal? We have all been in situations where we've almost enjoyed wallowing in negative emotions. We nourish a grudge against someone who said something hurtful, or we sulk in response to being disappointed. But what is the end result? Will acting on the negative emotion move us in the direction of our highest good? Will that negative emotion bless those closest to us? Will it help us reach our goals? In a marriage spat, for example, is the goal to be right or to be happy? Is it to be right or is it to be righteous? What's your goal? I bombard my clients with this question for the purpose of activating their God-given reason and conscience, thereby enhancing their spontaneous decision-making. Your goal should act as a filter, eliminating words, behaviors, and other emotional responses that oppose it. As a parent, for example, your emotional responses can be tempered by a clearly stated parenting goal, such as communicating love, not impatience, to your children, that weeds out irresponsible parental reactions regardless of their apparent justification. Certainly, you will have negative triggers in your life from time to time. Fortunately, God has provided a little gap of opportunity for His most valuable creation. This tiny space between the stimuli and your response to it gives you a chance to think before you react. This will shape not only your potential for joy, but also your destiny as a human being. What's your goal? So, it even has the activity here where you write 3 recurring or difficult situations involving important people in your life, and then you recurring stressful or difficult situations. And then you describe the goal or outcome you would prefer to see for each, and then finally how you intend to respond. So this is where you write the stimulus that's terrible or stressful here, difficult, stressful here, how you would like to respond to that, the best ideal self, the best ideal way that you could possibly think of, and then this particular strategy that you would use for each one of those. So what are you going to do the next time that you get really upset about that one thing that you know is a pet peeve of yours or ticks you off or whatever? Build a plan. And then here it says create a list of specific emotions you would like to experience more often over the upcoming year. Then identify specific negative emotions you would like to experience less over the coming year. And then review that list weekly and begin thinking over and speaking in a manner consistent with the emotions you desire. And then, again, we talked about this at the very beginning of this thing where we wrote down, the thought of the day, right? And we put that up on the wall somewhere. And the thought for here is, again, asking that question, what is your goal? So let's go ahead and close out with a prayer here. Lord, thank you for the joy that comes from following you. Help me today to deliberately choose words and actions that are lovely, excellent, and worthy of praise. Words and actions that will help me meet my goal. Amen. So let's do our push-ups. Again, thank you very much. Please know that you are loved. You are so precious, and the world needs you. The world needs the gifts that you're bringing to the world. And don't let anything take you away from the joy that you have coming right around the corner. Just persevere, hold on, keep doing the next right thing. Know that you are loved. Yeah, tell dad jokes periodically. My wife just got me that shirt. It's pretty amazing. Thank you very much. You are loved. Hope you have a great day.